सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। शुकासारिखे पूर्णवैराग्यजाचे वसिष्ठापरिज्ञानयोगेश्वराचे कवी वाल्मिका सारिखा मान्य ऐसा नमस्कार माझा तया रामदासा गणाधीश जो ईश सर्वा गुणांचा मुळारंभ आरंभ तो निर्गुणाचा नमो शारदा मूळचत्वार वाचा गमो पंथ आनंतया राघवाचा जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. So we were seeing some of the very beautiful verses by Samarth Ramdas Swami. And in the last session, we saw he started a topic of who is blessed. Jagi dhanya to dasa sarvottamacha. To sarvottamacha dasa jagi dhanya. That servant of that sarvottama, the best Lord in the whole world, jagi dhanya, is blessed. Blessed is that servant. Blessed is that devotee. So by this, what is he talking about? He is talking about Jnani Lakshana. He is talking about the characteristics of the liberated, realized person who is also a bhakta, who is also a devotee and therefore servant of the Lord. So this is his way of giving the Jnani Lakshana. What we in other texts see as Sthitaprajna Lakshana or Gunatita Lakshana, Bhakta Lakshana, etc. that only is given here. And that's what we were seeing in the last session. मनी लोचनी श्री हरि तोचि पाहे जनी जाणता मुक्त हो निराहे गुणी प्रीत राखे क्रमू साधनाचा जगी धन्य तो दास सर्वोत्तमाचा. Verse number 47. He said that in the mind as well as by eyes he keeps seeing Lord. So two aspects of the Lord, Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna Bhagavan he keeps saying through his eyes as all the people around him. And that Nirguna aspect remains in his mind, in his reflection. Jani Janata Mukta ho, he remains in the world but doesn't belong to the world, not of the world. Remains in the world like a free, liberated person. Guni Priti Rakhe Kramu Sadhanacha. Though he is free, though he has no rules now to follow, but still he has love for Saguna and still he follows the sadhanas. Kramu sadhanacha, sadhanacha kramu rakhe. He follows the steps of sadhana. He doesn't have to. There is no shastra which can give any instruction to such a person. He has gone beyond the shastra. In other texts, Shankaracharya etc. also explains that so far Shastra was an umbrella. Shastra was umbrella which used to tell and protect individual. When that individual becomes liberated, that individual becomes umbrella for the Shastra. Why? Because for other people, that liberated person becomes authority to prove that Shastra was right. Imagine. So far what was happening? Whatever Shastra was telling, we believe it to be true and we follow the instructions of the Shastra. But till what? Till when can we say that, okay, I have followed? What is finally the proof that yes, Shastras are right? You see this person. This person has followed the steps and reached the goal. You see, it happens. So after liberation, such a liberated person, such a devotee becomes an umbrella for the Shastra. And therefore, though he doesn't or he or she doesn't have to follow any sadhanas, any practices, but still they will do. Why? For the sake of other people. Bhagavan Shri Krishna very beautifully says in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, he says to Arjuna, Arjuna, there is nothing that I need to do in the 3 worlds. I am the Lord of the universe. I am the boss. I don't have to do anything, but still I do actions. Why? Because people looking at me are going to imitate me. Think of it. Isn't it? The boss of the company doesn't have to follow rules of 9 to 5. True or no? Suppose the boss comes at 10 o'clock. Anybody is going to ask questions, why did you come at 10 o'clock and 1 hour we are going to remove your pay, etc. Nobody is going to ask. But even after becoming boss, he still has to follow. Why? Because people are going to follow his footsteps, her footsteps. So when I do it, other people will follow. So to protect those people, these people still follow rules. They say, if you want to change your personality altogether, there are 2 best times that you can change your personality. First is when you are young, when you are in your formative ages, etc. So you still have way of changing your lifestyle, changing your personality. And second time they say when you get a chance, when you have kids. Why? Because when you get kids, you have to follow everything because those naughty fellows are going to imitate every single thing that you do. So by mistake also now you can't say any bad word. You can't, sleep on the sofa and eat. No. You have to sit nicely, erect, at proper time you have to eat. So second time when you start changing your personality is when you have kids. Why? Because now people are looking up to you. Children are going to look at every single action that you are doing. For jnanis, there is no such rule that jnani has to do this, that bhakta has to do this. No rule, but still they will follow the steps of sadhanas. Why? Because there are other people who will look at them and they also will do their sadhanas. Therefore, such a person alone is truly blessed. Sada devakaji jize deha jacha, sada ramaname vade nitya vasacha, swadharmechi chale sada uttamacha, jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha. His body is spent in the work of the Lord. Nothing else he wants. Always by his vani, by his speech, he takes Ramanama, Bhagavan's name. That is what he spends his vocal energy into. And swadharmechi chale sada uttamacha. And he always follows the path of swadharma, one's duties. As I am saying again and again, he doesn't have to follow, but he will follow. Doesn't have to follow, but still he will follow. That is what this person is. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha. Now when such characteristics are exhibited naturally by these liberated people, by these great devotees of the Lord, they become practices for us. Siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani. What comes naturally to these siddhas becomes sadhana for us sadhakas. And therefore, what we must do, we must pick all these great qualities that they possess and we should try to imbibe it in our own life. Another great quality that they say is sada bolanya sarikhe चालत आहे. They walk the talk. In Marathi there is a proverb, बोले तैसा चाले त्याची वंदावी पाऊले. One who walks how that person talks, such person should be worshipped. His feet should be worshipped. Why? Because he is not in today's world, no? He is not just giving jnana. वो बड़ा ज्ञान देता रहता है, वो करता तो कुछ नहीं है. He just keeps blabbering all the time, but he doesn't do anything. Not like that. This jnani or this bhakta is how the way that person talks, the same way that person walks. Walks means what? His actions, his speech and his thoughts are in one line. This is called as satya. Satya, Gurudev used to explain this very beautifully as intellectual honesty. Satya is not just speaking truth. That is one kind of satya that real satya is what? The way you think, that's the same way you speak and the same way you act. You are thinking about something, you think about, some worldly objects, etc. But in your speech you will say, oh, God is everything, you should always go for God. And in your actions, again, everything is about the world only. Then there is no satya. There is no one line now. For such a person, great bhakta, it is not like that. He follows what he preaches. Aneki sada ekadevasi pahe. In so many variety of people, he sees only one God. The difference is gone. Saguni bhaje leshanahi brahmacha. He worships saguna, but in his mind he is established and in nirguna, and therefore there is not even a trace of delusion. Brahmacha leshanahi. Not even a wee bit of delusion is there. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha. Such a person is blessed. Nase antari kamanana vikari. In his mind, these different kinds of modifications, desires, vasanas are not there. Udasina jo tapasi brahmachari. How does he live? Person lives like an indifferent person. If he gets something, very good. If he doesn't get something, also very good. Udasina jo tapasi brahmachari. Nivala mani leshanahi tamacha. Nivala mani means what? In that mind, tamacha leshanahi. Tama here, darkness, but has got many other meanings also. Tama in Marathi also means anger. Anger. So, not even a trace of anger. Why? See, anger comes when desire is not fulfilled. Now, since he doesn't have any personal desire only, there is no question of desire being fulfilled or not fulfilled. Anger is not there. There is nothing that I want something to happen. There is nothing in my mind, that this should happen in this way. If it doesn't happen, then I will get angry. But if I don't have any such insistence, if I don't have any such desire, then no anger. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottama. Such a person in this entire world, the servant of the great Lord, is blessed. Now we continue. Let us see. Verse number 51 we have to see, right? Yeah. Made matsare sandili swartha buddhi prapanchika nahi jayate upadhi sada bolane namravacha suvacha jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha jai jai Raghuvir Samartha. He says, Made matsare sandili swartha buddhi. Sandili means sodili. He has given up. What that person has given up? Mada, matsara and swartha buddhi. Mada means pride. Matsara means jealousy. Swartha buddhi means selfishness. So, if you see the connection with the previous shloka, kama and krodha is given up. Isn't it? Kama nana vikari nase, tamacha lesha nahi. So, kama krodha is given up. Lobha, because kama is not there, lobha is extension of kama, that also is not there. Now the remaining ones are spoken of here. Brahmacha moha also is spoken of in the previous. So moha also is gone. So what remains now? Mada and matsarya, that also is not there in this person. Pride means I feel that I have something that others do not have. And Matsara comes when I think that somebody else has something that I do not have. See how our mind is. Suppose I have something that people don't have, I have pride about it. Suppose they have something that I do not have, I have jealousy about it. But why can't you say that I have this, they have that? Very good, both are good. No. Comparison is at the very root of all our negativities. But with this person, what happens? Neither the pride is there, nor jealousy is there. Swartha buddhi, no selfishness. A very difficult thing. You see, all of us are so, dipped in swartha buddhi, in selfishness. No? So even if we try to do a good action, still there will be some kind of selfishness associated with it. See, we even choose our sadhana and seva. Isn't it? That I want to do only this kind of seva. Choice in seva is swartha buddhi only. Choice in sadhana is swartha buddhi only. We think that no, I want to do this only. I don't want to do that. Somebody tells us to do that. No, I don't want. I want. See, even in divine actions, we pull selfishness. What to say about worldly actions? That too is filled with selfishness. We don't talk about anything else other than selfishness. But how is this person? Swartha buddhi, that person has given up selfishness totally. Prapanchikanahi jayate upadhi. Whose upadhi? Upadhi means the body, mind, intellect, etc. The conditioning. Prapanchikanahi is not even touched by samsara. Sometimes in some abhangas, etc., or in some bhakti literature, when bhaktas, etc., they write, you will see that they will say that they will speak of themselves and their upadhis have become impure. Maili chadar odke. All these kind of phrases they will use. Now, what makes the body impure? One, if you see normal common thing that, dirt makes the body impure. No, that dirt is something that you can wash off with by taking bath with water, etc. What makes body impure is when that body is utilized for selfish purpose. What makes our speech dirty is when it is used to talk about something of the world. What makes our mind dirty is when it is filled with all these kinds of negativities of kama, krodha, lobha, mohadi. And what makes our intellect buddhi also impure is when this buddhi is used for tarka and kutarka of the, which go against the supreme reality, which go against the Lord. These are actually the impurities of the upadhis. And what happens with this person? Such a person who is realized, who is a great devotee of the Lord, his upadhis are not even touched by all these things. Why? Earlier only Samarth Ramdas Swami has explained that his body is used only in the service of the Lord. Sada devakaji jize deha jata was said earlier. Isn't it? Mana and vani, mind and speech, was only used for talking about and thinking about Lord. Mani lochani Sringeri to chipa hai. Isn't it? So, culmination of all that he is saying here, that his upadhis have not got even a touch of samsara. He remains in samsara but doesn't get touched by it. Sada bolane namra vacha suvacha. And always his speech is how? Namra. Humble speech. Suvacha. And very sweet, nice. See, such people, we want to listen to them again and again. We never get bored by listening to such people. Now Guruji's, Swami Tejamananji's lectures on 15th chapter are going on, every evening 7:30. You see, we feel that 1 hour is too less. Why can't he continue talking? Why? It's so sweet. Not that he is talking something about me and therefore I want to listen. Not just that. But the speech itself is very humble and very sweet. And that's what happens. When they speak of God, it is so much of love. It is with so much of love that they speak that for some time even we start feeling that love for God. Though immediately after the class is over, we come back to our own state. But during that time something happens. We feel elevated. That is how they are. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamasa. Such a person is indeed blessed in this entire world. Continues now, see, body, mind, speech, etc. Now, what about buddhi? Buddhi was not said. See, about body he had said, speech and mind also he has said, what he does with eyes, etc. also, jnanendriyas also is covered. What he does with buddhi, that is not said. That is said in the next verse. Let us see. Verse number 52. Krami velajo tattva chintanuvade nalimpe kadadam bhavade vivade kari sukha samvadajo ugamacha jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha jai jai raghuvir samartha. Krami velajo tattva chinta anuvade. Very beautiful word. Tattva chinta anuvade. Tattva chinta anuvade means what? In anuvada, in explanations of tattva chintana. Tattva means supreme reality. Chintana means reflections. Krami veda jo, a person who veda krami spends his time in what? Tattva chintana and tattva anuvada. In reflecting upon that supreme reality and in explaining about that supreme reality. That is how he spends his time. There is one very beautiful line which says, how long should I study Vedanta, or how long should I think about all these things? So it says, asuptehe amaranam kalam nayet Vedanta chintaya. Asuptehe, till the time you sleep. Amaranam kalam, and till the time you die. How should you spend your time? Nayet, kalam nayet, spend your time Vedanta chintaya, in reflecting on Vedanta. So this person follows that. Why? All of his time goes where? Either reflecting upon the Supreme Self or elaborating, explaining about the Supreme Self, Supreme Reality, about the truth, about the Shastras. That is how they spend their time. I tell you, these such are really great people. They have so much of love for the Shastra and love for that Lord that they keep explaining. Even if there is nobody, they will go and to trees they will talk. Talk about what? Talk about that highest reality. Why? Why should there be anybody? I am having conversation with myself. Tree is there just like that. So I am talking to tree. About what? About that Supreme Lord. Right? Given a chance, just for a moment, just think. I know many people, they go for this vipassana and all such kind of sadhanas, that 10 days, 7 days, whatever time, they don't, no mobile, no talking, and morning one lecture will be there and then rest of the time only meditate. I sometimes wonder, what do they do in such, because you see, mind is very dangerous fellow. Now we have so many things, therefore we engage our mind when mind has nothing to engage upon, because they can't read during that time. Vipassana, they don't allow you to read, you can't listen to anything. With that's why it is a very powerful sadhana, because then you and your mind, only two things are there. But the point is, when really you and your mind only two things are there, what do you do? How do you spend time? If there is nothing that has gone inside, what will you process? You say, I meditate. Meditate on what? Do you know what to meditate on? Because mind can't remain quiet without thoughts for such a long time. 100% mind can't do that. Because we have not trained our mind like this. So where should I spend my time? Chintana. Reflect. These cows you must have seen, no? They eat and then they sit at a quiet place and they bring back the food and they keep chewing. Haven't you seen? At least you have heard, no? So like that we have to do about Vedanta also. We listen to something, we read something, keep those thoughts in mind, and then when you have time, just keep on bringing those thoughts and keep on doing reflection on it. In Marathi we call Ravantha Karani. To chew that, bringing it back in your mouth and chewing. What cow does, no? That is what we must do. In a day, some time should be just for that. Not that you are doing any particular thing, listening to it or making notes, etc. Just reflecting. Just thinking about, okay, I heard about this point, what does it mean? Oh, this is what it means. But then this also it can mean, there was one more point. See, reflection is going on in your mind. And then when you get a chance, what you do? Anuvada. You also explain it. But while doing this, what should you avoid? Nalimpe kada dambhavade vivade. He doesn't waste his time, he doesn't get involved in dambha, unnecessary vada vivad. Vada vivad means dispute and discussions and debates, etc. This is one very common characteristic of a noble person, of a wise person. You will always see that they will not get involved into, some useless dispute. There is one anecdote. Somebody went to one Mahatma and said that I want to have debate with you. So Mahatma said, about what? About God. I want to have debate. So Mahatma said, you won. I don't want to have any debate. You want to prove that I am wrong, you are right. No, I accept my defeat. You have won. Why should I waste my time in proving you and having dispute to about such things? You want to prove, debate is for what? Proving that you are right. Oh, accepted. You are right. I am wrong. Chalo, go ahead. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji also in Sadhana Panchakam says that don't get involved in all these kind of disputes. Buddhajanaihi vadav parityajyata. He says in Sadhana Panchakam. Give up all these kinds of vada. Nalimpe kada dambhavade vivade. Arguments, debates, etc. Don't get involved in. What are you going to get out of it? That you please tell. Nothing. You will just get your mind, hyper unnecessarily active, and then you will start thinking about it, and then even after the argument is over, you will start why did that person said like this and don't come next time. Why unnecessarily disturb your mind in doing all these things? Accept, yes, you are right. Very good. Go ahead, finish now. Don't waste your time in that. If something nice is there, samvada is required, not vada vivada itself. So you have heard something about some shastra, about Lord, about some story of Guru, you share. And somebody else taking link from that shares their reflection on that same line or on that same topic. That is called as samvada. That will give peace of mind, that will give different ways of reflecting on the same point also. Such things you can do. But dambhavada vivada we should avoid. Kari sukha samvada. What does he do? He does sukha samvada. Sukha samvada, what a beautiful word. Samvada means dialogue. Not argument or debate, but dialogue. What is that dialogue about? Sukha samvada, that dialogue which pleases you. About what? Ugamacha. About the Ugama. Ugama means birthplace. Ugama means the place. Generally, Ugama word is used for rivers. From where the rivers start, that place is called as Ugamasthan. Place of starting. So they speak of that Supreme Lord, the place from where the entire world has started. So Ugamacha Sukha Samvada means what? They speak about that Lord. Right? Pleasant dialogue. Discussing about the Creator, the Supreme Lord. Discussing about how that Lord has created, how that Lord is sustaining, how his what do you say, his Leela is. Spend your time in that. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha. Such a person, such a servant of the great Lord is indeed blessed. Now what? He continues, let us see next verse. Verse number 53. Sada arjavi priyajo sarvaloki sada sarvada satyavadi viveki न बोले कदा मिथ्यवाचा त्रिवाचा जगी धन्यतो दास सर्वोत्तमाचा. जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. आहा, what a beautiful description. Sada arjavi. Arjava means straightforwardness, straightforward. Rujutva, that's the guna, that's the quality. One who has that is called as arjavi. Actually, the word Arjuna also comes from same root. Rujutvat Arjuna. Arjava. He is very straightforward. You will see also in Bhagavad Gita, when he thinks that something is going above his head, he will tell, Bhagavan, not understood. Please elaborate more. I have confusion. Please clarify. You are telling very nice things, but I don't think it is possible. Whatever is there, he tells. Nicely he tells, but he tells very straightforward. There is no understood, everything clear. Nothing like that. If it is not clear, he will tell it is not clear. Straightforward means simple. Nishkapata. This is a very, very beautiful quality to have. Kapata means what? Crookedness. Nishkapata means no crookedness. Some people are there, no? They don't do anything straight. They will tell one thing to somebody, something else only they will tell to other people, and then when these two people fight, and then they will enjoy, nice. Now we have unless there is some kind of fight, etc. I don't feel that I am alive. So there should always be some kind of, some fighting should go on around me, and somebody should shout, somebody should get angry on somebody should beat somebody, and then I feel nice, everything is so good. Some people are like this. Too much of quietude, etc. they can't handle. Exact opposite are these people. Sada arjavi. He is a very simple person without any crookedness. Priyajo sarvaloki. And he is loved by all. Everybody loves him. Even, see, now they say, no, nowadays that, who were his critics earlier have now become his fans. So we need new critics now. They will say about all kinds of people. But actually the point is about Mahatmas, that's the fact. Even the people who did not like that Mahatma later on start liking that Mahatma. They probably become the greatest followers of that Mahatma. That's how it happens. Mahatmas are so great that in their presence, even animals forget their cruelty and animosity. You must have heard so many such stories that the animals which are naturally enemies of each other, like they say deer and tiger, cat and rat, or frog and snake, they are generally enemies of each other. But in presence of Mahatma, even those animals play with each other. They stay harmoniously in that same ashram. One such story is there about Sringeri. Very famous story. Shankaracharya ji, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji, when he was traveling at one place on the banks of river Tunga, he saw that one very old frog was there, and he was hurt, and it was raining. So the snake had made hood, that snake's hood, that snake had kept on top of the frog, so that frog will not get hurt by the rain that is happening. Normally they are enemies of each other, but when he saw that, then Shankaracharya said that this must be some great place. Some great Mahatma must be staying here, and this place is some auspicious place, and therefore he established his Matha, Sringeri Matha, there. And then Sharda Pita, etc. and all these stories are there. And other places also you must have seen in the ashramas, etc. of Mahatmas, animals stay together. They are not afraid also. They are not afraid of humans also. That's a very interesting thing. Generally humans are the worst kind of animals, because nothing you can tell about them. All other animals, they go by instinct, no? they do what they are supposed to do. Humans, you can't tell anything. Erratic people, they will do anything at any time. But even from such human beings, these animals are not afraid. Sometimes people come and they ask, Veji, in these ashrams, etc., always there will be snakes, etc. Yeah, they find themselves very, happy and safe here. And I have not heard in so many years that the snake, bit somebody in the ashram. In most of our ashrams, there are snakes and all these kinds of animals are there. One reason also is because the ashrams are mostly in the forest area. It is not that they have come in our ashram, we have come in their place. This is their house. You come to Sif, etc., so this is a jungle only. It is far from the city, it is like a jungle. So spiders and snakes and frogs, etc., this is their house. We have come and captured their home and we are staying there. But you won't see them, troubling humans or getting afraid of humans also. That's the power of Mahatma like Shankaracharya, When he is born here, how can all these things happen? So, in whose presence these animals also forget their animosity. So, imagine how everyone loves that Mahatma. Priyajo sarvaloki, sada sarvada satyavadi viveki. Another very good quality. Sada sarvada means always. Any occasion is there. Satyavadi, he speaks truth. But at the same time, viveki. Now here Viveki word is not to be taken in the sense of Sanskrit Viveka. Viveka in Sanskrit, in Vedanta Shastra, etc. also means Nitya, Anitya Viveka, etc., etc. Differentiating or, discriminating. In Marathi, Viveka means Satsad Viveka Buddhi, we say, no? That is to understand what to do when. That is called as Viveka. General kind of Viveka we are talking about. Not very technical kind of Viveka. So what do you mean by general kind of Viveka? Satyavadi is said. Satyavadi means one who speaks truth. But that same person is also Viveki. Doesn't mean that he will keep on saying truth for no reason at the place it is not required. No, he is balanced person. He knows what to speak, when, where, in front of whom, everything is known. This is called as Viveki. A balanced person. He doesn't lose his cool. Just because I always speak truth. You are idiot. What you did is wrong. Don't. Earlier also we had seen, no? Satyam vada priyam vada. You speak truth but speak it nicely. So Satyavadi Viveki. That Mahatma is like this. Sada arjavi priyajo sarvaloki sada sarvada Satyavadi Viveki. Now one more point very interesting that we need to understand from this first line is that Mahatma, that Bhakta, himself or herself is arjavi, is simple, not crooked, is straight, but understands the crookedness of other people. Mind you, who is writing this? Samarth Ramdas Swami. You should remember. He was a person, bhalyala langoti, nathala kathi. That was his tattva. That if some good person has come, I will treat them nicely. But if some crooked fellow comes, one nicely I will give. That's what his tattva was. So this bhakta, though by himself or herself that person is simple, not crooked, very straightforward, but understands the crookedness of other people, yet still behaves in a very simple way with that person. That is how the person gets transformed. Even when the crooked person comes to get something done from them, that person will not, Mahatma will not lose his way and will behave crookedly with crooked people. No. He will still behave in a very simple way. I don't know whether I should say this or not, but let me say now that thought has come, what can I do? Nowadays these serials etc. on TV about Mahatmas are shown. I am not vivid watcher of all that, and I don't generally watch all those things because Most of the times they have added so many stories which are not real. But one or two times I was somewhere and I happened to watch some Marathi serials, etc. also on some great Mahatma, Swami Samarth, Gondolekar Maharaj and all these people. I have one big problem with all these serials because always they will show these Mahatmas, in a very angry mood. And most of the stories will be like this only, that a crooked person comes and tries to do something, and then, because of the power of Mahatma, it goes other way around, and that is all fine, that's all good. But they show that Mahatma in a very angry, he will come like this and he is very stubborn and he will say, and Mahatmas are not like that at all. But because if you show Mahatmas in the real sense of Mahatmas, the serial will not become any masala serial, people will not watch. So to add that, they do all these kind of things. And it is with everyone. Even Chanakya, I remember, they have shown Chanakya in such a angry all the time. I am sure Chanakya was not like this. One who has written that beautiful book of Chanakya Niti, how can that person be always angry? Yes, sometimes he will remove his anger and, for punishment, etc., he will remove his anger. I am not saying no. But they are not like this. Mahatmas are very calm and quiet people. Okay. As I said, they understand the crookedness of other people. But they themselves will not behave in any crooked way. They will be still very simple people. So, Sada Arjavi, in that, what all things are covered, that Bhakta is Arjavi, straightforward, understands the crookedness of others, but still behaves with them in a very simple and straightforward way. Therefore, Priyajo Sarvaloki. Therefore, everybody likes him. That is the reason why everybody loves that Mahatma, why everybody loves that Bhakta. So, this is something that we have to remember, we have to understand. That's the beauty of this Mahatma. Understands. Sometimes we will also meet some Mahatmas who are very simple, and therefore when they are too simple, sometimes we are afraid that these crooked people all around will take them for ride. Sometimes it happens. When we love that Mahatma and when we are close to that Mahatma, sometimes we start to feel, Arey, Swamiji, you don't know these people, they will say all these things, but they are not like this. But I tell you, my personal experience is like that the power of goodness of these Mahatmas is so strong that crooked people will not be able to do crooked things with them. Very famous story is of Bhagavan Sri Rama himself. There is a dialogue between Ravana and his mantri, his ministers. When that plan is going on, how Sita ji should be kidnapped, and the proposal comes that you should contact Maricha, and then Maricha should go there as in some other form and take Sri Rama and Lakshmana away from the kuti, and Sita ji should be alone. The first proposal was that Ravana should appear there as Sri Rama in front of Sita ji, because if you appear as Sri Rama, she will not even hesitate to come near you. But you know what Ravana says? Ravana says, if I take form of Sri Rama, I will not be able to kidnap her. Just by taking his form, I will not be able to do that wrong action. You imagine what kind of purity Sri Rama had. I am Ravana only, but even if I become Rama for some time, I will not be able to do a wrong action. Therefore, I will take up some form where I still have that. I am not that pure as God. But still, I should not appear in a very bad form also. Otherwise, Sita ji will run away from me. And therefore, he takes in between a form of a sannyasi. Why? To appear as a good person, but inside is a bad person. But you imagine what kind of level Bhagavan Sri Rama's even form has. And you see, it is everybody will experience this. When we also act as some great person in some drama, etc., for some time, the weight of their goodness comes on us. It comes. Though we have no such qualities like them, but because we have even acted like them, that goodness is so. Now imagine for such a person, actually, the purity is so strong that crooked people cannot be crooked with such people, with such bhaktas. The power of purity is enormous. Therefore, never feel that how will the simple Mahatma live in this crooked world? Arey, power of that simplicity is very strong, very great. Right? Sada arjavi priyajo sarvaloki, sada sarvada satyavadi viveki. Nabole kada mithya vacha, trivacha. Never he speaks mithya vacha. Never he tells lies. And one word is used here, trivacha. Is a very interesting word. Generally, the word trivacha means to say something 3 times. Three means 3. English 3 has come from Sanskrit only, 3. So that trivacha generally means something that is true. You speak it 3 times. Trivaram satyam, we say, no? Trivaram satyam. Whatever is said in 3 times means it is final truth. But here trivacha is not in that meaning. Here trivacha means he keeps changing his speech. First time he will say like this, second time he will say something else, third time he will say something else. That is called as trivacha here. So trivacha is to speak different things every time. And so I tell you, such people are very interesting. They conveniently forget what they had said in the first place. And then you wonder, but you only told na like this. I said, no, I must not have said. I am telling you na about this. So first time they say something, second time they say something else, third time to something tangent only. But this bhakta doesn't do like that. Na bole kada mithya vacha trivacha. Kada, never ever that person speaks lies or speaks this kind of things. One at one time, another thing at another time, another thing at another time. So trivacha here means to speak 3 different things. That's what trivacha means. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha. Such a person who is the servant of that great Lord is indeed blessed. Continues. 54, verse number 54. Sada sevi aranya tarunya kali मिळेना कदा कल्पनेचे निमेळे चळेना मनी निश्चयो दृढजाचा जगी धन्यतो दास सर्वोत्तमाचा जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. Sada sevi aranya. That person, sevi means lives, enjoys. Aranya means forest. Tarunya kali. In their young days itself, they start to enjoy quietude of forest. So, Samarth Ramdas Swami is telling that these great bhaktas, Mahatmas, Jnanis, etc., in their young days itself, they will start living a aloof life. People will not understand what do these people like, because they are enjoying their own company. It is very difficult to digest for many people. You see, tarunya means youthhood. That youthhood is generally associated, or people think that it is meant for enjoyment. Why? You are young. In young days you should do all kinds of things. Why? Because then once you start becoming old, etc., body does not support, mind does not support. Therefore what? Enjoy when you are young. But these people are such who will give up all the enjoyments in their young times, in their young days. Samarth Ramdas Swami himself was like this. Remember, at a very young age he ran away from his home. We have seen in the story, isn't it? And he started living in the forest. Sada sevi aranya tarunya kali. Milena kada kalpaneche nimeli. This is also very nice. Kalpaneche nimeli. Here kalpana means what? Different kinds of imaginations about the Lord. Some people think that Lord is like this. Some people think Lord is like that. They have different kinds of imaginations. He doesn't get involved and, doesn't spend or waste his time in thinking about all those things. Chalena mani. His mind doesn't get shaken. Nishchayo drida jacha. Why? Because his decision, nishchaya, is very firm, dridha. And therefore, what that person has gone to the forest for, to do sadhana, etc., to realize the truth, etc., they remain on that track. That's the point. Now, here, a couple of points we have to understand. Number one, when it is said that such a person lives in forest at the very young age, and solitude, generally people speak of solitude, staying alone. We have to understand what kind of solitude is being spoken of. It is not physical solitude. Nowadays, people go for solitude and there they carry their phone and they keep on, video recording their things. What kind of solitude is this now? You are you are alone even to show other people how you are alone. Too much. You are alone, you spend your time, no? So, solitude is a mental state. Mentally, you should be alone, which can happen even when you are living amidst all the people around you. Always it is said, our Shastras speak of 4 kinds of ashramas. Third is Vanaprastha ashrama, where you do Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha means you do Prasthana towards Vana. Vana means Aranya, forest. Nowadays, if you go to forest, officers will not allow you to stay in forest. So, Gurudev used to say that you create forest in your home. Not literally. Don't start, digging holes and don't start in your flat system, etc. Don't put trees, etc. inside your room. No. Forest means what? Create a kind of environment where you are mentally alone. You have finished all your duties towards family and towards society. Now give up all those things and decision making to your children and live a life where you are mentally, intellectually available only for the highest reflection, not available for anything else. So solitude, when we speak of, it is a mental state which is meant for reflection, not a physical state where you are away from people, not just that. Yes, initially you will have to live, even physically away because we are not used to it. So go to some ashram, etc., stay for 10 days, stay for 1 week, attend some camp, etc. Then what happens? Then you are away from the main, that hustle bustle of the market, of the world, etc. You are away. Then you get tuned with how can I remain mentally away from the whole world. Then even if you are amidst the whole world, you can still remain mentally away. So here also when it is said Aranya Sevi, that Aranya Sevi doesn't mean that literally that person has to go to forest. No. Forest means that mental solitude state. And Sevi word is used. What a beautiful word. Sevi means to enjoy. To enjoy. Not forced loneliness. There is a difference between I am lonely and I am alone. There is a difference between the two. I am lonely means I am forced to be alone. Where people have left me and then I want to be with people, but I can't be. That is called as lonely. That you will feel when you are away from your family, for something, etc. Then you start homesick, etc. You feel. That is lonely. Alone means what? I have chosen to remain aloof, away, mentally from all these things. That is the state Samarth Ramdas Swami is talking about here. Sada sevi aranya tarunya kaya. So nothing of the world is disturbing that person. So when that mind is free of all the thoughts of the world, what is it spent on? Not spent on something of the, different kind of imaginations of the, people think about Lord. Some people think that God is like this. Some people, then doesn't waste his time in that also. Mental storms and stresses and all these things. No. Milena kada kalpane cheni mile. He doesn't spend his time in that. Why? Nishchayo drida jacha. Because his decision is firm. He knows exactly why he is there. Why he is in that mental state. Why are you saving your mind from going towards the world and putting it where? Putting it in God. Therefore, mani chadena. Such a person does not shake in his mind. Chadena mani. Avichalamana. The mind has become firm in God because the determination is so firm. Such a person, jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamaja. Such a person indeed is blessed. Now all these things are actually sadhanas for us. We have to practice all these things. Right? That is what we have to remember. He continues. Let us see one more verse. Verse number 55. Nase manasi nashta asha durasha vase antari prema pasha pipasha rini devaha bhakti bhave zayacha jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamacha. Jai Jai Raghuvira Samartha. Nase manasi. Nase, it is not there. What is not there? Nashta asha. Now here that nashta means bad. That which brings our destruction. That is called as nashta. Nashta asha. Bad desires. Wrong hopes. False hopes. Nase. Are not there. Manasi, in the mind. In the mind, there are no bad desires or hopes, false hopes. Durasha, and even vasanas are not there of all these wrong things. I hope by now you understand the layers in the mind where vasanas are at much subtler level. They are the impressions. Based on these vasanas, we have likes and dislikes and other modifications that happen in our mind, like kama, krodha, lobha, moha. All these are modifications in mind. They all happen because of the underlying vasanas, underlying impressions that somebody has. Habits, very the habits, not even, you can't even say habits, the habits that have become our nature. Those are called as vasanas. Now for such a person, what has happened? The person has neither got the bad vasanas nor bad desires. So at both levels, at a subtler level of the mind, at the root level also, bad vasanas are not there, and at the surface level also, kama, krodha, all these negative tendencies of mind are also not there. Nase manasi nashta asha durasha. But if these things are not there, then what is the mind filled with? Vase antari prema pasha pipasha. What is there in mind? The mind is filled with love for God. Prema pasha. Pipasha. Pipasha means thirst. Patum ichha. Desire to drink water. That is literally called as pipasa. Pipasa in Marathi becomes pipasha. What is this pipasha? Pipasha means thirst, longing for that Lord. So mind doesn't have bad vasanas or bad desires. Then what does that mind have? Mind has love for the Lord and longing for that Lord. Now somebody will say, Vedji, how can love and longing remain together? Technically, if you see, love means oneness and longing means difference. Isn't it? Love is identity. You feel oneness. And longing is when you feel that you are away from someone. But very interestingly, one of the strongest ways of love is separateness. You will see, even the worldly kind of love, they say prema becomes strong when there is viraha. Viraha means when the beloved is away from you, then that love becomes stronger. Same thing is true even for prema bhakti, even for devotion for the Lord also. Love for Lord also, same logic is there. That's why Naradji in Narad Bhakti Sutra defines bhakti like that. What is bhakti? That question is asked and different opinions are given, and he says, my opinion is Naradastu tadarpita akhila acharata tad vismarane parama vyakulata iti. Naradji says that according to me, devotion is when I have dedicated all my actions to the beloved Lord, and when my mind doesn't have that Lord, I feel a great pang, a great distress, great pain of separation from the Lord. Tad vismarane parama vyakulata. I feel that they say, jalabin machli, fish out of water. How that fish, is longing for water and nothing else. Like that, when for a moment God is not in my mind, I feel a kind of pain that I want to get that God back in my mind. So prema and this pipasha, they go together. And there Naradji gives example, he says, Yatha Vraja Gopikanam. What a beautiful example he says, just like the Gopikas of Vrindavan. They used to spend their all, if you see Bhagavad, etc., if you read, very, very beautiful, those Leelas of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Bal Leelas are so amazing that when Bhagavan used to get up, before Bhagavan gets up, all these Gopikas will finish everything, every work of their house and will wait outside Yashoda's house for Shri Krishna to wake up. And full time they will be on the boundary wall of the house. Why? Because they were not allowed to come inside. Yashoda used to say, don't disturb my son, you remain there. So all the paparazzi, etc., used to stay outside, and the and the celebrity used to get up. And from the time he is woken up, all the cameras, everything is focused on him. Then afternoon, at some point of time, Yashoda Mata used to say that now you go for some time to your own homes, let this fellow sleep. If he doesn't sleep now, he will create too much of nuisance for me, so let me put him for sleep. So when Yashoda Mata will put Shri Krishna for sleep in the afternoon, again these Gopikas will run to their houses, they will again finish their work, again by 4:30 they are back there. Why? Because now Bhagavan will get up again. Now you imagine, when Gopikas are thinking about Lord, that whether he has woken up or not, whether he has, even when they are doing their chorus in their house, etc., household work, they are still thinking about Shri Krishna only. I have to go. He might have woken up, he might have. So you see, even action that they are performing at home, of taking care of home, that action is also arpita, is offered unto Lord. And then of course Shri Krishna is Shri Krishna. After some days he says that enough of this, 24 hours, whenever I am awake, all these people are around me, I can't do anything, I want to do so many things, but these people are, not allowing me. So he told that from tomorrow onwards, I am going to go to forest with all my friends and taking all the calves, etc. And we will like our elders, my father, etc., they take cows for grazing, I am going to take calves for grazing. And when Gopikas heard this, they thought that they will die. You see, you read Bhagavad, when the first day when Shri Krishna took the calves along with Gopa Balakas into the forest, they just stood there looking at the Krishna as long as possible. They wanted to look. And Vedavyasji says there that their eyes just became fixed on that road till evening when Bhagavan Shri Krishna came back. They literally thought that pranas have left their body and pranas have gone to forest, keeping the body there. That is how Vedavyasji describes, that there were just bodies standing there waiting for pranas to return. Imagine. It is not just like that the example of gopis is given. They were the greatest kinds of devotees. The point is what? That viraha, that longing to see Bhagavan again. See, that's what makes them great. And of course, that famous story of Rasa is there. When Bhagavan Shri Krishna started playing that flute, and when all the Gopikas, just intoxicated, you can't even say the word because intoxication has got a negative connotation, but they were so mesmerized by that they just left their homes, whatever work they were doing, they left and they started going. One Gopika was, by force the husband and the in-laws, etc., they held her and they put her in the room and they locked her. She was so in pain that I can't go to Bhagavan. She gave up her body. And Bhagavan Vedavyasji says there in Bhagavad that her pranas reached Bhagavan's feet before all the other gopis could reach him. Imagine the kind of love. Viraha Dukkha is one of the strongest forms of love. Therefore, in the minds of these devotees, both things are there, prema and pipasa. And you see, the real thing is, when you love somebody, you always want more and more of that. You are never satisfied. So pipasa, thirst to see Bhagavan, is always there. Even if Bhagavan is mine and I already have, but that is not sufficient. I want more and more and more. The minds of bhaktas are bereft of all the vasanas, dushta vasanas and kamanas, etc. But it is filled with love and thirst for the Lord. And when bhakta is like this, what Bhagavan happens? Rani devaha bhakti bhave jayas. Looking at this kind of love of the bhakta towards Bhagavan, Bhagavan becomes rani. Bhagavan becomes indebted of this devotee. Bhakta paradhina vise. That's why in Bhagavad, in one place, Bhagavan says that I give mukti to many, bhakti to very few. I give mukti, liberation to any. You want liberation? Take. You want liberation? Take. But bhakti I don't give. Why? Because when I give bhakti to somebody, I become his servant. Bhakta becomes the boss. Not that Bhakta wants to be boss, please understand. Not that Bhakta wants something from Bhagavan and he will make Bhagavan work. No, that's not the point. The point is the greatness of devotion is so much that Bhagavan becomes rani. Bhagavan becomes indebted of this devotee. Jagi dhanyato dasa sarvottamasa. Such a devotee, servant of the Lord, is indeed blessed. Okay? And also we are blessed because we are studying the text of such a great devotee. We are staying in the country where so many such devotees stayed, where Bhagavan came. Don't think that we are in some kind of bad place. No, we are so lucky to have all these things. Now what? Now we have to follow what these people have told us. Right? That also I am sure will happen by their grace. And with this we will conclude for today. Remaining portions we will see in the next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.